Hello, this is Mark from I Am Organic Gardening, and welcome to part 3 of just using coffee grounds, cardboards, and seeds. First, I'd like to state I made a mistake in part 1, and I was very happy that a viewer told me about this. I said a minimum of a 1/4 inch of cardboard that you need to put down. It's actually a minimum of a 1/2 inch. I apologize for that, but from now on, it's a minimum of cardboard, at least a 1/2 inch thick, that we want on the ground. So today we're going to plant up some potatoes. And here in front of me, I have the items that we need to complete this project. So we're going to make a raised bed. So we need a cardboard box, at least 8 inches tall, and at least a 1 foot square. And next we have in the bag, we have some sugar snap peas. We have our potatoes. This variety is called Dark Red Norland. It's an early variety, it's a red potato. We have our seeds in the tray. On the left-hand side, and I'll get a closer view in a little bit, we have winter rye, and I also want to show you we have also annual ryegrass. There is a difference. It's not the same thing. You'll see by the seeds the variation in it. And also in the blue jug is you're going to need a minimum of 2 pounds of coffee grounds, used coffee grounds, and a shovel. So I want to show you this. This is the winter rye on the left-hand side here. Now that's different than annual ryegrass on the right-hand side. You can see it's a much smaller seed and it's completely different. Now the other one's a grain and the other one's just a grass. Now I will give you the Latin name and where I buy it from. This way you can check it, because if you go to a local garden center or even a co-op, they might not have that particular thing. So first we're going to take our box, which is at least 8 inches tall, and now we have the tape on the bottom. Now this is not plastic tape, this is just regular paper tape, and also the shipping label. So you're going to fold the bottom flaps in first, and then you're going to fold the top flaps on top of that. And that will give you strength, because this is going to be your raised bed, and you want it open on the bottom. You do not want the cardboard on the bottom, and what has to be open. Now just place it on top of the grass in your garden area. Now a lot of people will say you have to cut the grass down and put a weed barrier down or cardboard too. No, you want contact between the soil you're going to be adding with the coffee grounds mixed in with it to that soil. You do not want any barrier in between there. And all that green grass and winter rye, that is all good. That will decompose on its own, starting up the soil food web for you. So the soil we're going to use is just the regular soil that you have that's in the ditch area around the outside. So I'm just going to take a little bit at a time, and we're going to place it inside. Now we're going to go about anywhere from, let's say, every inch. We're going to stop, and then we're going to mix in coffee grounds. So we have exactly 1 inch of soil that we started with, and at this point you have to stop, and we're going to add coffee grounds, and we're going to add the potato. Now you have a choice. You have to plant at least 1, but if you plant 2, you get smaller potatoes. And you do not want to cut these in half or split the eyes or anything like that. And they can be growing, or they can just be showing it. You don't have to grow them this length prior to planting. So we have our potatoes in there. Now we're just going to take some coffee grounds and add that. Now here's our used coffee grounds. Now what I have here is 2 pounds, because I know, because it was on the gauge before I use it, and then I just put it back in here. We're going to use a minimum of 2 pounds. I know it's a lot, but we need to separate that clay. This is organic matter. This is just like compost. It's going to do the same thing for you. So now you can see that we have our coffee grounds evenly spaced on top of the soil. I used about, just as a gauge, you might do a little bit more, but at least 2 large handfuls on about every inch. Now just mix it up a little bit. Now you're ready to add another inch of soil, and then repeat all the way up to the top. And you're going to go up to 8 inches tall. When you're done, you want at least 8 inches of soil on top of that potato all the way to the top. This way you don't have to remound it ever. It's all done one time. Potatoes do not grow higher than 8 inches. There's only 2 varieties that do in a potato tower, and most likely you're not going to find them, or they're very rare to get a hold of. But You just want a total 8 inches of total on top of the mound. They will not grow higher than that for you. And just keep repeating until you reach the top. Soil, coffee grounds, mix. So I just finished up. You want to stop at least an inch from the top because that's going to be our rain collector, and also when we water, so the water doesn't run off too quickly, that is going to be our little barrier on the side. So next we're going to plant up our organic sugar snap peas. Now I'm using sugar snap peas for 2 reasons. They provide more nitrogen to the soil, but you have to also inoculate that for that to happen. Most likely you do not have that rhizobium bacteria in your soil at this point. So a lot of people ask me, it is worth the little bit of money to buy the inoculant to add on to the sugar snap peas or any legumes your first time. And then eventually your soil will become more and more healthy. You don't need it in the future. And another advantage of the sugar snap peas is that it has pretty much a weak stem, so it can be pushed aside. So when you have your potatoes growing in the middle, that the sugar snap peas will not be blocking. We're just going to outline the edge with the sugar snap peas. The little green dots are the sugar snap peas. I just have them along the edge. They're about 1 inch in from the side, 1 inch from 2 inches from the side, and all around the perimeter. Now just gently push them into the soil about 1/2 inch. So now that's done. Now we're going to add, it's your choice. If you still have the winter rye from the past, you can use that on top now. We're going to add that in, or you can add annual ryegrass to the top. So now we can either add our winter rye that we had from the past or our annual ryegrass. I'm going to add the winter rye again too. You can plant winter rye at any time of the year. The difference if you plant it in the springtime now or summer or late summer or fall is that it does not produce grain. It will only grow about 1 foot tall. And I'm not worried about the height because the potato leaves will come up and then smother it out. What the function of it now is to keep that top layer from crusting over again, keeping it open so we can get air through there and water through there. That is the purpose of just the top growth of these things right now. So I'm just going to take my winter rye. Again, not too much and not too little. And then just rake it and just kind of move it around a little bit. And if you want to, you can put a little bit more soil on top to cover any of the seeds. So now we have that finished. I also have the same thing growing somewhere else. I don't have it in the cardboard box, and I didn't add the winter rye. Here's the example I want to show you. This is a 50-foot long row of potatoes. It's a different variety, but you can see that I have potatoes in here and also the sugar snap peas growing together in a raised bed. And they work great together, and they're doing just fine. Here's a better picture. The large leaves here on top, these are potato leaves, and all this around here is the sugar snap peas growing. I want to thank you very much for watching today's video, and a very special thank you to the person that brought it to my attention that the error that I made in part 1. You want at least 1/2 inch of coverage with the thickness of the cardboard. And again, I hope you enjoyed it, and please subscribe, and I'll see you shortly. In next part 4, we're going to be planting seeds into the cardboard area, and we'll get this garden started.